Hi guys, I hope you're all having a good day. What I want you to do is I want you to start by opening the 4.1 notes. Hey, this was page 4, the notes that we had started on Thursday before the snow day. So if there's anything that you didn't get down here, I just wanted you to take a minute to get the 3 steps down. So for simplifying the powers of I, what we're going to do is we're going to take our exponent. So for this example, our exponent is 422. And we're going to divide the exponent by 4. So 422 divided by 4 leaves us with 105.5. Okay, so just as like a little trick, if it's a whole number, our remainder is 0. If it ends in 0.25, the remainder is 1. That is 1/4 or 1 out of 4. So that's why your remainder is 1. 0.5, your remainder is 2. And 0.75, your remainder is 3. So whatever your remainder is, so in this case 0.5, that means that our remainder is 2. That becomes your new exponent on your I. So our I, sorry guys, now has a remainder of 2. Okay. Now, the last thing that we do is we simplify the power. So we are going to go back to the last sheet where we have like those 5 terms that we have to get memorized. And I squared simplifies to -1. So that would be our final answer. So next, what I want you to do is I want you to open up to the textbook page. Now, we have already started this page before. This is page 4.1, chapter 4.1 from the workbook. And it's the second page of it. So we already did the first page, but if you need to re-download it, you can, and you could just pause the video right now. So I'm just going to put a little reminder up here that if you have a whole number, you have a remainder of 0. If your decimal ends in 0.25, it's a remainder of 1. 0.5 is a remainder of 2. And lastly, 0.75 is a remainder of 3. So we just want to keep those things in mind when we're simplifying here. So I'm going to zoom in on the first example on that second page. Okay, so we have I to the 4th. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our exponent and we're going to divide it by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. There is no remainder. It's a whole number. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our new exponent 0. And then we're going to look at this little chart that we had to memorize, and we know that I to the 0 is equal to 1. Right? And that's it. That's everything. Okay, they get a tiny bit more difficult when you have a number in front, but just like when we're simplifying radicals and everything, we kind of like take that number in front out and we worry about it at the end. So I'm going to take this 3 out. I'm going to worry about it at the end, and right now I'm going to simplify I to the 3rd. Okay, so if I put 3 over 4, okay, it goes in, it is 0.75. Right? That means that it goes in 0 times with a remainder of 3. I'm going to use my little cheat sheet up here that says 0.75 is a remainder of 3. Okay? So my new exponent on the I is going to be 3. And I to the 3rd simplifies to -I. Okay? Don't forget about this 3 that we took out at the beginning. Okay, so your final answer here is going to be -3I. Okay, going over to 19. Okay, I'm going to take my exponent of 67 and I'm going to divide it by 4. I get 16.75. So that means it goes in 16 times with a remainder of 3. That means that my new power on that I is going to be I to the third, which again, using our little cheat sheet here, but we got to get this memorized, is equal to negative I. Go over to number 20. Take your exponent of 30 and divide it by 4. We get 7.5. That means that it goes in 7 times with a remainder of 2. So that means the new exponent on my I is going to be I squared. Go over to my little cheat sheet here, and I squared is equal to negative 1. Next, for 21, don't forget about this 5. Okay, circle it, highlight it, whatever you need to do so that you don't forget about it. Okay, we have 212 as our exponent, so we're going to take that and we're going to divide it by 4, and it goes in evenly. That means that there is no remainder. Okay, so it is I to the 0 power, which is equal to 1. And lastly, 5 times 1 is 5. Go over to number 22. You have a negative 2 in front, so we're going to bring that down. We'll worry about it in a second. And in the meantime, I'm going to take my exponent of 105, and I'm going to divide it by 4. I get 26.25. So that means that it goes in 6 times with a remainder of 1. So I to the first, which is just the same thing as I. So negative 2I would be your final answer there. Next, number 23. Don't have anything in front, so we just have to take our exponent of 2015, and we have to divide it by 4. We get 503.75. So that means it goes in 503 times with a remainder of 3. So I to the third simplifies to negative I. Again, if you need to use a little cheat sheet on there, go ahead, or your Quizlet cards, whatever is going to work. And lastly, if we go over to the last one, 192 divided by 4 is 48. There is no remainder, so I to the 0 power is equal to 1. All right, so if you need to, go back, rewatch this, use those steps to help you. But remember, it's the same steps every time. Take your exponent, divide it by 4. Whatever your remainder is becomes your new exponent on the I. And it is going to simplify to one of these 4 things. 1, I, negative 1, or negative I. All right, and there's a homework assignment for you. All right, and then you guys are good. You should have some time to do it now. I hope you guys have a great day.